Hi, welcome to Big Sexy Chat. I'm Crystal.
I'm Murph.
We're just two rad fatties sitting around,
chewing the fat.
Twice a month, we'll be chatting about current events,
hot topics,
sex toys, fat politics, fat community, cannabis, CBD, you name it, we're going to talk about it. We are very excited to have you a part of our community. Welcome and enjoy. Hey, y'all. Welcome to Big Sexy Chat. I'm Crystal.
I'm Murph.
And we have the lovely MxPucksAPlenty here with us today. Welcome, Pucks.
Hey, it's me. I'm here. I made it.
Pucks, is it okay if we call you Pucks?
Oh, yes, please. Everyone does.
Okay. Wonderful. We are so thrilled to have you. We have been just on Twitter since Tigress told us about FatCon a couple months ago. We are just like, we can't wait. I'm sure you're very excited as well. You are one of the founders and creators of fatcon.org. Tell everybody what FatCon is. Oh, I'm so excited.
FatCon is the brainchild of myself and Candace Frank, who runs Chub Rub. And back in 2022, we started talking about FatCon, and we thought, oh yeah, we'll totally be able to make this happen in 2023. And that totally did not happen. But we never really let the idea die, and we know that it needs to happen. But FatCon is going to be one of the biggest celebrations of 2024 with over 30 plus hours of programming, amazing keynote speakers, a fashion show, a vendor hall, and it's all geared towards celebrating fat joy and building community. I think we need more fat community. People need more fat friends. So yeah.
Community is important for everybody. It's really important for people who are a part of other marginalized groups as well, because man, community can get you through the shittiest day. If you have it, it's so important. I love my fat community. I'm so grateful.
I just finished working Pride in Sacramento, and just to see the community and to be in that, you couldn't not smile and be engaged and just feel good. And I can't wait to go to FatCon because I'm just like, oh, I know that feeling's going to happen again.
I love going out with a bunch of fat people all at one time, like to restaurants and stuff. Oh, I love it because people stare and we're just like, yeah, we're just enjoying this cupcake or this taco. Fuck all of you if you don't like it. And we're just, yeah. We have a group here called Fat Brunch, and it's, mostly East Bay, South Bay, and some North Bay. And we all get together at different places about once every 2 months. And it's everything for me. I love it.
That sounds really good. There are so many fat babes in the Seattle burlesque scene that I just feel like we're kind of always rolling in and out of places. I am the person that's always like, we should go eat. We should go eat right now. Let's go eat. So it's just really nice to have fat friends, to have people that get it. Instead of being the fat friend, I am of the fat friends, and it feels less isolating for sure.
I have definitely been the fat friend in a lot of groups, but now my group is much bigger. No pun intended, really, but truly, I can't live without it. So, and this is our fat community, and that's kind of why we decided to make this podcast, is we wanted to help people to have more fat community, and even just, first of all, share some of the shit we've been through and how we've dealt with it. But just to bring everybody together and make it, we're trying really hard, as three white ladies, to make it as intersectional as possible and as queer friendly as possible and sex positive and sex work positive. And we're trying to do all of that and give people a place to have a voice and share with us. So tell us about, how do you know Tigress, by the way?
So I saw her on social media and I'm like, FatCon. I need to talk to this woman about FatCon immediately. And so I just straight up slid into her DMs. I am that kind of human. I'm just like, let me get up in here and tell you all about what we're working on. And, most of the time I kind of get ignored, but I did not get ignored this time. And it was right before we were doing Fat Less Fest. And I'm like, FatCon's coming. I swear it's coming in 2024. And she's like, let's find a time to talk about it. And that's kind of how it worked. I was that guy. I slid into the DMs like, hey, baby, you here at FatCon?
I'm sure she loved it. I mean, wait till you meet her in person.
I can't wait.
She's incredible. We adore her. She and I met at a pleasure party about 15 years ago where I was educating and entertaining people about sex toys. And she and I I was like, oh, I love this lady. And her name is Tigress. She was born with that was her name at birth. And she fits her name.
She lives up to that name every day.
we missed her in the Bay Area. You know, she moved down to Arizona.
Yeah.
But she used to have, you would love her events, Pucks. Oh man, it was beautiful in most of the Oakland area, some in San Francisco. And she had her full figure entertainment group. Oh man, so fun. Oh, she's amazing. We love her.
That's what we bonded over, was that Burlesque is the vehicle that got me here.
Yeah.
Realistically, the vehicle that got me here was actually the Seattle sex positive community. That was the first thing that kind of opened my eyes to like, oh, there's so much more than, you know, having sex missionary with my partner who doesn't want to, you know, choke me a little bit as a treat. Yeah. You know, there's more to this. And, you know, I dipped my toe in. I got to work under the great and late Elena Gabosh here in Seattle, who is like a major pioneer in the sex positive community here in Seattle. And I got to mentor under her. And she's the one that got me into teaching and doing public speaking surrounding kink and polyamory and all of that. And that gave me a sense of boldness to try burlesque. Burlesque was on my radar for, almost 7 years before I actually tried it. It'll be 6 years next month that I debuted doing burlesque. But it honestly took like the confidence of walking through a dungeon naked in all my fat glory to be like, oh, I could do this burlesque thing and I don't even have to take everything off. I still get to keep pasties on and you know, gee, this will be great. That's easy. You know?
One thing I discovered about the kink community is that they're very, for the most part, body positive, fat positive. Usually people in the kink community my experience have been, if you're into my kink, I'm into you. Doesn't mean you have to have a certain body type. You don't have to have all the whatever. It just, if you connect on the kink level and the brain level, the body is just, you know, it just happens to be what it is. And I know there's a certain percentage of kink things that where, you know, they want you to look like a Barbie doll or whatever. But the kink community is very body welcoming. Would you say that's true?
Yes and no, but also I think a lot of that is because it's my experience in a black fat body is very, very different. The massage noir is wild. It's a lot of kind of sizing up. I was either ignored completely or turned into a walking fetish dispenser, right? Or race play became a very instant thing that they wanted, right? And it's either, you know, I want you to be this mean dominant that, you know, that's calling me all these racist names, or I want you to be a submissive and allow me to call you all these racist names. And I'm just like, oh, I know that most of the time when I walk into the majority kink spaces, I'm going to have to deal with a certain amount of microaggressions. It rarely has to do with my size, and it's mostly to do with my skin color. I do teach a class on fat phobia and kink, mostly to kind of discuss like the lack of like, most of the equipment is not rated, you know, over like,
Nope.
you know, 250, 300 pounds, right? Nope. A lot of the fetish wear, like the cute fetish wear, does not come in plus sizes. And if you're into latex and you're fat,
forget it.
You're like, forget it, or you're paying so much money for custom things, right?
Yep.
So those are the kinds of things that I bring up because people were really kind of insulted that I had a fat phobia and kink class when I took it to a convention. They're like, but we're so body positive. And I'm like,
but you have such a pretty face.
Yeah, I'm like, but there are still things in our community, you know, people making money off of us that don't want to serve fat community.
Yep. Or how about they're part of fat community and then they decide that they're going to have weight loss surgery, and then they used to make money off of us, but now they're bye-bye. But anyway, that's a whole different topic. But yeah, microaggressions and the race thing. I don't understand the race play. I don't, when I've seen it before, I'm just like, I can't handle that. It's just too, ingrained in me, you know, it's free, but you know, two consenting adults, everybody agrees to it and that's what they want to do. But man, it's hard for me to understand.
Yeah. I don't kink shame, but there's definitely you know, my face doesn't lie. And so someone will say something or do something and there's just like the record skip. All right. You know, so it's like, I don't want to yuck anyone's yum.
No.
But also I'm like,
If you leave kids, animals, and your family out of it, everybody's consenting, you get down with your bad self. I have a few additional guidelines I like to follow. No needles, no poop, no guns, no knives. But if you're into that, as long as everybody's consenting, everybody's safe, go for it. But the race thing is just,
it's a hard limit for me. It's very hard.
Yeah.
And there's other aspects of kink that I'm just like, it's really brave to be a person of color and decide that this is how you want to express your sexuality. And you get the courage to go to a dungeon and people are out here talking about master slave. And you're like, oh my God, where am I? What is happening?
No, thank you.
You know?
No.
It's wild. I've been in a dynamic with a submissive for, oh my gosh, my submissive now for like 7 years. And, you know, he's really into like, he wants to be property. And my brain's like, whoa, property. I don't know. No. Like, he's like, oh, slavery. Oh, I'm like, and so what we landed on is, you know, goddess worship, right?
There you go.
You know, so there is a way to serve that is like, that feels like, you know, this is your whole entire life as a submissive. And so we've used that. So it's more like I am the patron deity for this person. Right. And that feels better for the spirit. Master slave stuff is not for me.
I'm a therapist. And so when you say what you just explained is the perfect reframe. So if you can take something that's absolutely terrible and turn it around where it's like, yeah, you're like serving me as a goddess. This is like meant for your soul. Perfect.
Oh yeah.
Hey Murph, tell Pucks a little bit about Amanda.
Oh yeah. Amazon Amanda is a friend of ours, and she has a plus size, well, it's all different body types, all different identities, everything, erotica. It's XXX and it's called BBW Adventures. It's XXX, BBW XXX Adventures.
It's a mess. Not me taking notes over here like,
She's going to be one of our sponsors. Also, why don't you tell her a little bit about what she does in addition to that, which I think is really interesting.
She's a Amazon, obviously. And so she goes in all around the world and sits on men, squishes them. She used to pick them up. She doesn't do that anymore. But, you know, just her and her friends will book certain times so that there'll be like two Amazonian, I'm not sure which word that is. Amazonian, right? Women on top of them and like squishing them, and she makes tons of money and they fly her all around the world to do it. It's incredible.
And fully clothed.
Yeah, I am totally doing the wrong work. I was told that the best place for me to go would be Japan and do sex work in Japan, specifically doing this, sitting on male clients. And like, you probably could go for 3 months and make enough for a down payment on your house. And I'm like, I am seriously considering it, because fat femmes are not common in Japan. And so that is one of the most desired things sex work wise, is fat femmes and sit on me. And I'm like, I can totally do that. I can totally sit on you.
Fully clothed and no sex.
Absolutely. I just want to do that.
I know. We have a podcast where we interviewed her, and she couldn't be lovelier. And Murph's known her for a while, right, Murph?
I just love hearing about her life, though. I'm just like, tell me again how you did what? You know, oh yeah, I put on high heels and, you know, just kind of squished his face a little bit. And I'm like, what? Word. This is awesome. How do I sign up? Oh wait, I'm not an Amazon.
How tall is she again? Do you remember?
I think she's 6 foot or 6'2".
Wow. She's 6'2", and she wears heels, and she's stunning, and just inside, she's just like, oh, she's just a sweetheart.
I love it.
Anyway, yeah, you should check out that podcast, and we would love to introduce you to her too.
Please.
So tell us what else is going to happen at FatCon, because I know there's some burlesque element to this too.
So when we initially kind of birthed FatCon, I came at it leading with nighttime entertainment's got to be burlesque, because that's what I do. I am the founder and co-producer of a festival here in Seattle called What the Funk. It's an all people of color burlesque festival, and we've been doing that now for 4 years. And I'm like, oh man, I want to do a fat burlesque festival. I'm like, so what if we took FatCon And we weaved in this burlesque festival as the nighttime entertainment because people will already be here. So we can just do that. And so when we started looking at making FatCon reality in 2023, we're like, oh man, we can't make it happen. Like, I can still make the Fat Less Fest piece happen. And so that can be kind of like this thing to kind of get everyone's appetite wet for what's coming in the future. And so we produced Fat Less Fest Northwest in January of 2023. We actually ran a Kickstarter campaign in late October into November to raise $30,000 for this festival. And we did. I would not recommend a Kickstarter campaign to anyone ever in life unless you have like a really amazing team and you have like a really amazing following. It is a full-time job to run a Kickstarter. And so like the person I became during that Kickstarter is not someone that I loved. Other people said I was fine, but whatever. But we made the $30,000 to produce the Burlesque Festival. And I knew as we were kind of going through that weekend that like FatCon was going to happen. Like it's just going to happen. And the big part of that was because we had people who hopped on airplanes, who flew to Seattle that have nothing to do with burlesque. Nothing. Because they were like, I just need to be in the room where this happens. I just need to be here. And
that's how I feel about FatCon. I just have to be there.
Right? I just want to be in the room where it's all going down, even if I don't do anything. We had one amazing woman who flew in from Baltimore, Maryland. She took a couple of workshops. She came to a couple of classes, and she was so into the work that we were doing that she recommended us for a grant. We got a $5,000 grant because this woman came to Fat Less Fest and had her world changed just from being in the room. So FatCon is taking place at this amazing hotel in downtown Seattle called the Hyatt Olive 8. And I say that they're amazing because we've had not so amazing experiences trying to book FatCon.
Sure.
Back in 2022, when we were looking for venues for 2023, we went to at least 6 venues. We found a venue that we really liked. And they walked us through everything. The lady was very charming and really nice. And then when we left and we're like, okay, we want to do this. She said, no, absolutely not. And, this is not something that we would ever have. And they're a chain. They're a Pacific Northwest chain. And they have done, their other locations have straight up had like erotic balls, have had burlesque, have had fashion shows. But, oh no, she was not having the fat broads there today. And we truly, truly believe it was because it was a fat event. We could have been anything.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. It's like the bots on social media, right? Mm-hmm. You see extra flesh, you automatically assume it's pornography.
Oh yeah.
You just have extra fucking flesh, okay? It's not my vag, it's not my vulva, it's just my fucking meat.
Yep.
So, but they can't handle it.
It was wild. Just her insistence. And we emailed corporate and we're just like, cool. Do you this is what's happening. She just walked minimum a $90,000 sale in January. Okay. We intentionally picked January, like right after New Year's. We all know that hotels are empty. And she walked $90,000. Are you serious?
Did anyone get back to you about that?
Oh, no.
Put them on.
Oh gosh. Yeah. We don't fuck with McMiniman's properties at all anymore. I just can't. And it's wild because their other properties are still doing burlesque shows, still doing events, but there's something about the all fat. And then just it reminds me of something that you said in your very first podcast episode of just how people hate seeing fat people not being sad and hating themselves. She could not. She could not with us. I am the 17th most influential burlesque figure in the world. And Candace is and I design fat lingerie and we're just all cute and having a really good time. And she couldn't tolerate it. Let me stamp out this. You're not going to make me hate myself.
If you're not dieting and you're not on that diet, habit trail, whatever the hell, hamster wheel, people don't get it. They're just like, what do you mean? You're happy? You're fine? You're going to stay like that? Yeah, I've been fat since the 3rd grade. Nothing's going to change. So I'm just here living my life. Sad that you fucking care about my life. But some people just have so much disdain for fat bodies. When I've tried to book events here at different venues here, I've had pushback because of fat bodies and mostly also because of the sex stuff that people are just so. Silicon Valley, we're in San Jose, which is south of San Francisco, and Oakland and Berkeley. So people like to act like they're very conservative here, and then all the fun happens in the other Bay Area areas. In the hotels here, they're very, very conservative.
Yeah, those hotel takeovers are fun.
They are, and the hotel that you chose, they seem to be very. They're into sustainability, and I noticed they also had a pride flag. And happy Pride, by the way, Pucks.
Yeah, I'm really excited for Pride. Yeah, the Hyatt has been really easy to work with. When we were initially looking for a location in 2023, we actually looked at a Hyatt property, and they were lovely. And so when we made the pivot for 2024, we needed a location that was near where we were doing the show at. And so we looked at this other Hyatt property, and it's so cute. Like, it's really, 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 really nice. And the people there were really great. They weren't just trying to make a sale. Like, they were genuinely asking us questions of like, how do you envision using the space? Like, what would make this better for you? Like, they're really going in and also accounting for the fact that there were going to be fat bodies in here. Being like, okay, this room would normally hold 200, but we want to give you guys some room. So maybe you want to say this room's going to hold, 150 instead. So they're really like using their noggin, and that was really helpful.
Right. And did you tell them we're going to need a lot of chairs with no arms?
Absolutely. I'm like, no arms on the chairs. They have really nice banquet chairs. I sat on it and I'm just like, oh, this is heaven. Oh,
cool. Yeah, I see some banquet facilities have chairs that are rated up to 600 pounds. And then others have those shitty chairs that are rated like to 250. I'm like, please, I'm going to fold that thing up so fast with my booty.
So that the horror of sitting on a chair and you go to sit down on it, and you're like, oh, I've been here before. I know what this is. Every time I get near one of those plastic chairs, I'm like, I've been here. I've been in this exact scenario. And it's going to return to its elemental parts and pieces with my ass in it. Great.
I sat through a wedding one time in one of those folding white chairs on the grass. So, of course,
oh my God,
the chair and I are like digging into the soil. And I'm trying to like hold myself from not being too heavy on the chair. So my legs are trembling. So I'm trying to hold myself up. It was outside. It was hot. I was like, oh, get me out of here. I had to come up. Excuse me, I have to go to the bathroom. I just had to get out of that space.
I think those things should be banned.
Yeah, they're terrible.
I have a question about the vendors because every con has the vendors bring in just like, I don't know, a different element to a con. I go to a lot of cons. So it's like if the vendors are top notch, you're getting good stuff. So I got to know what's going to be happening.
Okay. So we haven't announced who our vendors are yet, but I can tell you that the curation team for our vending, they're ridiculous. This team is ridiculous. Like the questionnaire, folks ever had a chance to look at the vendor questionnaire, it goes pretty deep. And one of the things is like, we were definitely looking for either like the vendors themselves being fat or offering size inclusivity with clothing, but also like just a wide variety of fat vendors. So it's not just clothes. There's all kinds of stuff. And we're going to have 2 separate boudoir photographers. They have 2 completely different styles on site. And we're really, really excited about doing that. And one of the things we're also doing is that we are bringing in a panel of fat photographers to talk about posing as fat people. Because it's something that I still struggle with. And that's my job, is to like get in front of the camera and look cute sometimes. I'm still just like, what do I do with my body again? And I'm just standing there looking uncomfortable for the first 10 minutes. Like, is this sexy? Like, how are we sexy? Like, it's like I forget for a little while. But I'm going to give a shout out to Candace Frank yet again.
Oh, yeah.
She does the majority of the photography for her company, Chub Rub. And so I've been behind her camera or been in front of her camera numerous times, and she just fucking gets it. Like, she's done a lot of my like publicity shots for Burlesque too. I just, the way that she puts you at ease and makes you feel comfortable, and will straight up tell you, nah, don't do that, do this. You know, I need that kind of person in my life. Stop doing that. Do this. Okay, thanks. You know, but I'm really excited about that. And the keynotes are all like really fierce and awesome and fun. We're holding on to one keynote we haven't announced yet. But like, I'm just really excited about like what workshops the keynotes want to do and the panels they want to do. And they're all really fired up about this. Like, it's really, really interesting to be around when you're messaging people to ask them if they want to come out. You're inviting them, you want them to come out. And they're just like, not only are they like happy to have the call, but they're just as psyched about it as you are. You know, even more so. It's wild.
Everybody I've mentioned it to in my fat world are like, oh yeah, I plan on being there. I'm like, you are? Because I know so many people, like probably all of us, online only, but to just meet them in person and give a hug with lots of consent, of course. Can't wait to like be in their space. I feel like I already know them, you know, but I don't. I've never met them in person. Everybody says they're going. So it's going to be, I think you're going to have more than 500 people.
I know. It's such a, it's something that like, you've been really thinking about, like, we've already, like, in my head, we've already outgrown the venue that we're in. So it's like already thinking about, you know, 2025, which sounds fictional, you know, like we're already thinking about like, we're going to have to be in a bigger venue.
I think so.
You know, and what does that look like? We had people messaging being like, what would it take for a FatCon to be in my city? And I'm like, oh, you know, and so
on the road,
you know, right? It's bigger picture stuff too, you know?
Bring it here. Let's do it here. Yeah, we have a lot of fatties here. A lot of rad fatties, a lot of rad babes.
Oh yeah. A traveling con sounds so great on paper. And then the execution of that, I'm like, oh my God. So really thinking about how do we bring FatCon to the masses, especially, you know, we've had a lot of, there's been a lot of conversation on some of our posts surrounding accessibility, specifically virtual accessibility to the conference. And you know, I'm just like the financial cost of doing it well, doing it right is not feasible this year. Because everyone's like, oh, well, just, you know, you just need a computer. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. But we just need a computer and, you know, 4 different rooms for 30 hours, you know? And so, and make, again, this idea of doing it right and doing it well. So I'm like, you know, if you tune in to the virtual conference, but you can only hear every other word, you're going to be really unhappy that you paid for that.
Right.
So it's really thinking about that. And also I know that a lot of folks, especially in our fat community, you know, have been deeply affected by COVID. And so there's been a lot of conversation about that, about like, you know, the response, like what is our responsibility? And I will tell you this, that I think that a lot of the healing that we need to do as people has to happen in community, and that has to happen in person.
100%.
Yeah, I want to go back to something. So first of all, love Candace, love her TikTok. The last couple have just been hilarious, like perfect, like the way that she's using these memes. It's like, this is fantastic. The other thing though, is that I own a bunch of her outfits, and just amazing quality, really, really good stuff. I have the latest that I've purchased was the Mary Jane print. And so it's like this like green glittery Mary Jane print with the strappy black and mesh, you know, kind of outfit for my butt. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is so cute. I wear it around the house all the time.
It looks so good on everyone. The style looks so good on everyone. I am obsessed with it's like the purple berry print. And so like I've modeled it a couple of times now, and I'm just like, if you put this thing in me one more time, I am not taking it off. I'm going to walk out of here with it. And she's like, no, not yet. So I just finally got my personal piece of that. And I'm very, very excited. I got to wear it when I was in Vegas at the Burlesque Hall of Fame Weekender in the beginning of June. And I was just like, my booty's out. It's like, it's mesh, right? Booty is out. And like,
I need to get this one.
it's so good. All the straight size, gals, are walking around in their string bikinis and stuff like that. And I'm like, I got this mesh and my booty's out and my tits look fucking fantastic. It makes everyone's titties look good. That thing is just like, oh, titties.
Mesh.
Oh, I love mesh.
Mesh is the best.
Mesh is my favorite thing alive. I love being as naked as humanly possible. And mesh allows me to, wear the tiniest things underneath, put the mesh on, and I'm like, oh my God, look at this outfit. Killing it in mesh, Ugh, so good.
The way mesh grabs your lumps and bumps and hips and curves and all that.
Or folks are just like, where do I get all the mesh? Where do you get the mesh? Check out the swimsuit department, like the swimsuit section. They have the cover-ups are made of mesh, and they have sexy cover-ups, and that is the best place to get mesh. Yeah. Yeah.
Who is your graphic artist? All of your puck production, the prom graphics, the FatCon graphics, your graphics that you put on your IG. Who does all that? They're so amazing.
I'm really lucky. I'm surrounded by a lot of talented artists. The FatCon logo and like all the little cute icons and things like that. Candace Frank, y'all, could not do this without her. She's amazing. And like when we were initially talking about the FatCon logo, because this logo has now existed for like 2 years, we're like, we want something that's not quite feminine, not quite masculine, just is. And what she came up with is golden. And the text, the font that she used is also the same font that we use for Fatless Fest. Bring those two things together. The Fatless Fest logo was created by Mixed Latina Kay Turner, who is a drag queen in Olympia, Washington. Fucking incredible human. We love Latina. And then the production logo, which is is a profile of me when I first got started in burlesque, and I just kind of kept it. Lori Collins, the art of Lori Collins. You can find her at Loria Pandora on Instagram. She's actually our programming director for FatCon. I have known Lori. Let's see, my son is going to be 13 this year. I have known Lori for about a decade. I actually met Lori through my ex-husband. They were best friends and they have very similar personalities. And when my ex-husband left me, almost 4 years ago. I was at a burlesque festival and he moved all of his shit out while I was gone. Moved it all out. Didn't tell me, didn't tell anyone. Just moved, gone. And just abandoned me. And so Lori was one of the first people to come to my house after that and take care of me and my child, make sure that we ate and all of that. And, she's like, I'm not going to choose sides. I'm just going to be here. And he basically forced her hand. And so she chose me. And so I feel like I'm the luckiest person in that divorce. I won Lori. She is incredible. She's designed the What the Funk logo every single year for the past, 5 years now. And as programming director, she is just epic. She's so good at this job. I don't know what we would do without her. She's written a lot of our contracts. Her and I sit down and look at our FAQs on our website and stuff like that. This is, like I said, this team is so incredibly sexy. And then the Queer Prom logo was actually created by one of my partners, Josh King. He's an incredible artist. He has this project called Strains in a Jar, and he takes the names of different weed strains and designs literal interpretations of them in art form. It's so cute. So one of them is cat piss. It's a cat's head floating in a thing of pee, things like that, but they're really cute. And his art style is just the most adorable, cutest thing you've ever seen. And if you meet this man, he's 6'4" and he looks like a giant teddy bear. He's got real golden retriever energy. I love him.
Oh.
but just, and also just a big fat man. And this is actually the first time I've been in a sexual relationship with a big fat man that is not ashamed of his body. and is not ashamed of throwing that body around. And I can just sit there and rub his fat belly for hours and not get bored. I want to chew on the fat. And I have never been like that drawn to someone's body, but it's because of how comfortable he is in his body. You know, he stretched around our house, you know, in our bedroom naked and stuff like that. And like, and I'm just like, oh my God. Like, I love how confident and comfortable him as a fat man in his body is. And he'll tell you it's because of me. And I'm like, I mean, I don't care who it's because. I want to eat them rolls. I say that he's a charcuterie
Yes,
board
jelly
of,
rolls.
yeah, I call him a charcuterie board of dad meats.
I love it. By the way, your ex-husband sounds like a total fucking idiot. So
Oh, he's
I don't
a
know what's wrong with
dickwad
him,
for
but
yeah, he made a piss poor choice. I think he knows that now. My career really took off after my husband left me. I mean, I'm now the 16th most influential burlesque figure in the world. I was voted Performer of the Year for 2022 by Seattle Gay News. Our production company, Production, won Micro Business of the Year. And I'm one of the Grand Marshals of the Seattle Pride Parade.
wow. Congratulations.
I know, like, this is rad.
What happens at Queer Prom? Tell me more about that.
Queer Prom is, we do a big giant burlesque and drag show to kind of kick everything off. And this year we're bringing in he's the last king of burlesque. The Burlesque Hall of Fame Weekender decided to get rid of their burlesque category this year. And so now all genders can compete for the big title. So he's the last king of burlesque, and he was the Grandmaster Funk of 2021. So he's one of our headliners. And then we have, so his name is Pinot Noir, just the most talented, funniest, gorgeous, just beautiful, most beautiful black man I've ever seen in my entire life. And just so expressive and great. And then we're bringing in Bagley Randy, who used to be based in Seattle, who now lives in Chicago, but he's in Seattle all the time that you wouldn't know it. He just came in third place at the Burlesque Hall of Fame Weekender and also won Most Comedic and is the current Mr. Hollywood Burlesque. And he is like so unapologetically gay. It's incredible. And then we're bringing in Margot Mayhem. She was in the Broadway production of Come From Away in New York. She is the best debut of the Burlesque Hall of Fame Weekender this year. And this is the only thing I can actually book her for because she is a skinny, straight-sized white lady. And I'm like, I can't book you in my All People of Color Burlesque Festival. I book her partner all the time, but not her. And I can't book you in Fatless Fest Northwest. And I'm like, you gay? She goes, oh yeah, I'm gay. I'm like, okay, let's go. We'll do that. So, so she's bringing some real bisexual realness to the stage. So we have all this fun stuff happening. And then after the show, folks will exit the auditorium and go down the stairs of the grand lobby. And in the grand lobby, they'll be able to dance. One of our amazing sponsors is giving us, what did they say? A metric crap ton of macaroons. So everywhere. And then we also do what we call a queer court competition. So we'll be crowning a new queer monarch for the year. And I love, 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 love that. I created 2 titles. We have Queer Monarch and we have Grandmaster Funk. And I created the titles because I really wanted, for some reason, titles make people listen to people. Or at the very least, book people. They open doors. And so we created these titles, but titles only have as much power as we choose to give them. And the people that keep winning our titles, they, with their whole chest, will tell you, I'm Grandmaster Funk. Okay, this is what we're doing. And so they have all utilized these titles that I made up in my bedroom, 6 years ago. They've used these titles and gone on to do incredible, amazing things. And I feel so fortunate. Our last 3 queer monarchs for Queer Prom are all involved in Queer Prom this year in some capacity. Our very first queer monarch went on to be crowned Miss Imperial Gay Washington 2022. So it does open doors.
Well, just on that topic, our podcast was nominated as one of the best podcasts by the Soul Figure Industry Awards. And even if we don't win, first of all, we can't believe that we were even nominated our first year of our podcast. And then I think it does, even if it doesn't mean anything to the whole wide world, it means something in our community. And I think that will open doors for us for sure, just because they came up with this cool word, and we might win it or we might not, but at least we were nominated.
Yep. And you can put that on everything, as seen, as nominated. I'm a big fan of people marketing the fuck out of that stuff. I mean, do it. It's so important. I say this as someone that is really terrible at tooting my own horn. And I'm committed. I'm committed to the next year of uplifting myself and cheering on myself the way that I cheer on and uplift the people that I love and care about. Because if I say that I love and care about myself, then I need to include myself in that.
Speaking of which, I would love to know how we can help you. So I do this a lot at my business networking meetings. What do you need for your business? How can we help you? We want to help you, and we're not looking for anything in return. We just want to help. We want to get the word out there, because it's going to be good for all of us. So what do you need right now?
This is thank you for saying that, because I think this is really important. It's something that I try to talk to people about all the time, is that we need partners and we need community. I am a big believer that what we do collectively can bring in so much more than one person going in there and being like, I need this. I'm constantly looking for more sponsors and partners. And, the economy sucks and people are being really tight with their purse strings, but we're really trying to get more sponsorship, especially for FatCon. Because, let's face it, we know FatCon's going to be huge. Like, I can safely predict that in 5 years, FatCon is $1 million business easily, because this is so desperately needed. Community is so desperately needed. And so I'm like, I know that this year's the year of proof. Like, it's the, show us the proof. I'm like, okay, we're going to kill it. So, if you know of any grants, if you know of any sponsor people that are like, I don't know what to do with my money, they can give me their money. It's so great. I'm fiscally sponsored, so I operate as a 501c3. So any donations that are made to production, especially for FatCon, are tax deductible, which is not something that a lot of burlesque babes can say about their business, which is really neat. The other thing that people can do to help is spread the word. It's so free. It's $3.99 to do that, to just share a post, comment, like,
sure.
Those things are really important. But like, if your business, if you work for places like we do donation matching, you can donate to us and we will, and it'll get matched. And I think people don't, please abuse that at your job. People don't do that nearly enough. It's literally free money to give to an organization that you love and care about. And and our mission statement for production is it's not generic, but it doesn't mention burlesque in it anymore, because we're just growing in so many different ways. It's kind of innocuous. So you'll know in your heart that it's going to fatties and it's going to titty shows, but your boss won't have any clue it's going to fatties and titty shows. So do that. Even if you're not giving the money to us, please, that's a benefit that you have at your job. Fucking use it.
Yeah, and we have a lot of people in tech here, and they all have that matching thing, so that's a great point. Is there anywhere on your FatCon site where people just want to give you $50 or $100?
Yeah.
Do you have anything on there, like a button? Okay, they can click. Okay, cool.
So if they go to fatcon.org and go to support us, you'll see all the sponsorship options, but there's also just a donate button. And it takes you right to our donation landing page, which is, again, all under production, which I know people are like, wait, what is that? But if you look at that landing page, it talks about FatCon, it talks about Fast. So you're in the right place.
Awesome.
But yeah, those are really good ways to help.
We want you to be successful.
Yeah.
We want you to kick ass, and we want to do everything we can to make sure this is amazing and huge, and every seat is sold, and every sponsor is, you get all kinds of crap ton of stuff to give away.
I want Big Fig mattresses. I'm just putting it out there. Big Fig, we need mattresses. All my friends who have Big Fig mattresses, I just love them. I need one so bad.
Me too. Yeah, I've heard that too. And as Tigress reminded me before on one of our episodes, we don't just want fat money from fat brands. We also want fat money from big brands like a Macy's or a Nordstrom's or whatever.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
time for them to also step up. Not just the Lane Bryants and the Tords and the Big Fig, although we appreciate all of that, of course. But we need to also start going for the bigger.
You know whose money I want? I want Gap's money. I want Gap and Old Navy after this bullshit with all their plus size clothes and coming out there with your whole size inclusive stuff and then being like, oh, it didn't sell well. I'm like, no, because that shit was ugly and you fucking knew it was ugly. Come on.
If you make something that's quality, that's unique, that's interesting, that's sexy, we are going to buy it.
We're going to buy it. And even if it is expensive, we're going to save up and we're going to get it. That money spends just as good as straight size money. And I'm not out here trying to wear muumuus and stuff. I mean, I do like a good Kaftan moment. But I want to look and feel good. And I want to be sexy because it makes me feel good to be sexy. I don't really give a fuck what anyone has to say about my fat ass ever. But like, if you're out here making granny clothes for people and like, I just don't know why they don't want to be covered up. I don't want to be covered up. I don't want to wear a tent. Leave me alone.
Also, I'm hot, okay?
Exactly. There's that.
I want to be naked.
Yeah, I mean, really. I
love it.
I think that we need to put together a fat nudie day. Just fat nude people. Yeah, this feels good to my spirit. I'm gonna think on that. Fat nudist day.
I thought you were going to say something like, the fat 10 commandments that we need all brands to know about. We have money too. We'll save up our money even if we don't make a lot of money because we want some good shit. We want it to go up to size 10X and beyond. Like whatever those rules are that we want them to all understand, we need to put it on a piece of paper somewhere and say, here's what we need.
We do need that, but I also want to be in community with a bunch of fat babes because there's just something magical and powerful about watching a naked fat person walk around unbothered and unapologetic. Oh my God. Unbothered and unapologetically fat and naked. Oh, bless.
Pretty hot. I agree.
Yeah.
Yes. Tell people about on your production page. I think that's where you have where you share that people can book time with you for fleshing out ideas or tell us about that a little bit.
I do some consulting work. It's mostly geared in the burlesque realm, but also in the sex positivity realm. So I consider myself a sex educator. I went through Dr. Bianca Laureano's program, Annie Up. And so a lot of my work is focused in disability justice, fat acceptance, queer theory, and also reproductive justice, but in a non-binary body, right? And so I do a lot of that. I also do a lot of one-on-one consulting with folks who are just like, man, I really want to dominate my partner and I don't even know where to begin. So I do a lot of that work. And then the thing that I've been doing a lot of recently is fundraising for the arts. There's a lot of ways to make money and to create donorship, right? Of having, even if you're not a nonprofit, even if you're for profit, you can create donor levels and have donors who are donating to you and who are members of something. And so we talk about membership and what that looks like, because a lot of burlesque babes, especially, are producing shows on $500 and a hope and a prayer, And so we talk a lot about different ways to raise money. So that's something I've been doing a lot of. But yeah, my Instagram is @MxPucksAPlenty. But if you go to my Instagram, there's a link tree there and you can book a consultation with me. Gosh, God bless Calendly. What a fun app. It's so great. I love it. It freaks me out though sometimes. They'll be looking at my calendar and all of a sudden something appears on my calendar. I'm like, what is that? And then I get the little ping noise from PayPal and it's like, you got $150. I'm like, oh, money. Okay, motivated. Let's go.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah.
You know what I do with my calendars? I make sure that so people can't book anything for 48 hours. So they have to book it. They want to see me on Wednesday. They have to book it by Monday. Because otherwise someone shows up on Tuesday or Wednesday and I'm like, shit, I don't have time for that right now. But that's just a sidebar. Do you know Monet Hosidi?
I know Monet Hosidi. Yes, I do.
She's burlesque here in Sacramento.
Yeah. I know Monet.
Okay, cool. Because she has a group Black Art Matters.
Yeah, she does.
Black Arts Matter.
She also has a burlesque show coming up called Revenge of the Blurs, the festival, Revenge of the Blurs. Monet and I were featured on a list back in 2017. And it was 16 plus size burlesque performers to keep an eye on. And so this was I had just gotten started when this list came out. And it was a huge uproar in the burlesque community. People were so mad. There were so many new burlesque performers on there. And so a lot of the established plus size burlesquers were really pissed off. It caused a lot of infighting. But Monet and I are both on that list. And that's actually how I became familiar with Monet's work, was through this list. But yeah, it left such a bad taste in my mouth of how we were fighting with each other within that community in burlesque, that I never mentioned this list until last year that was on it. But that's how I met Monet. Yeah.
Yeah, I hate that shit. Yeah. She lives in the Sacramento area, and she's, amazing hair colorist and hairstylist as well.
Oh, she does amazing hair color.
Super talented. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know. I love when she shares her photos. I am so excited, and we want to tell. Hopefully Monet can be there too. I hope she can be at FatCon. I would love to meet her in person. We've never met in person before, but I feel like I know her.
Yeah, her social media game is strong. We have so many amazing people coming, already right now, announced, right? We have Tigris coming as one of our keynotes. We have a lot of Boutte as one of our keynotes. Fierce Fat Femme is coming. I'm going to go ahead and just drop this. It hasn't been announced yet. We're just going to drop it. Saucy West is coming.
Yes.
So we got Saucy West coming, and I just had a phone call with her on Friday. She's coming, and I'm really excited.
Hashtag fat and free.
I love her.
Yes, we're good friends with Saucy. Yeah, I do too. She's here in the Bay Area, and when I had my lingerie boutique, she would model for us, and she's also out there, advocating for people like me above a size 28, because, we really get forgotten about.
Oh, yeah.
And she will not let it die, and I'm so grateful to be in community with her. She's amazing.
She's a blessing. I again, one of these people that I feel like I know through social media, because there's this artificial intimacy that kind of happens with us on the internet, because we talk about so many things that are happening in our lives. And so when you finally get to be in front of people and you're you go to reach for them to hug, and you're wait, this is actually not a familiar action. But how's your dog doing? And how's your grandma? And did you get that promotion? And your boss really sucks, right? So much intimate details about this person's life. It's really weird, especially coming out of the pandemic. One of the first events that we did, met a bunch of people in person that I had been working with online and stuff. And we met in person, and it was just this moment of just we actually don't know each other. Let's fix that right now. Yeah, it was beautiful, but also really weird how the internet has created. We've created these relationships with people that are very meaningful.
Yeah, when people talk shit about social media, I'm look, you have to understand. I know so many people because of social media, and I feel like they have my back all the time, and I have theirs, and I always have theirs.
It's the good stuff. It's the best stuff.
I was going to tell you too about working with Saucy. This woman is the most professional model you will ever work with. I mean, I worked with a lot of models when I had my boutique and all the fashion shows. Saucy, she would have to drive 2 hours to get down to my boutique. She would never be late. She'd show up at 7 a.m., model call. Just doesn't even fuck around. She just takes it all so seriously, doesn't cause any drama. She's so beautiful and just amazing. And I worked with so many other people that were just such a nightmare. Saucy was always on it, always just right there. I mean, who drives 2 hours to come? Wasn't even getting paid, and always on time. Other people just showing up, whatever, Saucy's very professional, and she's not fucking around.
Saucy's the business. She is the business. I appreciate that.
She has a million followers on one of her Facebook pages. Okay.
Yeah, she's incredible.
Her tagline, what is it?
Hashtag fat and free.
No. She says your favorite fat girl. Is that her tagline?
Yeah, and then she also says the the fat girl that everybody hates or something like that. Yeah.
Love it.
What you said, Murph, that's one of the ones, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody who hates her. I only know people that love her, but I met her through Tigress, and they used to come to my boutique a lot. And, both of them are not afraid to like eat cupcakes on camera, eat food on camera. They just like, yeah, so if you don't like it, don't look. We should probably wrap this up because we're coming up on an hour.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful.
I'm really, really excited to have y'all in Seattle in January. January can't come quickly enough. I'm so excited.
I know. It's going to go fast, though, I'm sure, because when you're organizing shit, it goes fast.
I know, it's going to be November and be like, wait, what? No. Yeah.
As a person who's put on events for 300 and 500 people, I remember the stress. I don't have that in me anymore, but I'm so grateful that you do. Murph, do you have anything else for Pucks?
I just want to say thank you for your time. It was so fun to get to talk to you, and I can't even describe the excitement. Like, it's just, I feel all buzzy because I know it's going to feel incredible being in that space with so many people that get it and understand. And I just know that it's going to fill my soul. So I'm like, January, get here now.
So people can find you at fatcon.org. And is that where you have your link tree, or is your link tree somewhere else?
Oh, my link tree is going to be on Instagram. If you go to, so it's the FatCon on Instagram. If you go to @MxPucksAPlenty, you'll find my link tree there. My link tree is, it's all connected. And then then my website, MxPucksAPlenty.com. Just real simple. We're out here. Seriously, if you just type in Pucks and Burlesque and Pucks and FatCon into your search bar, you will find me. I am there. I'm everywhere you want to be right now. I'm like MasterCard.
You're pretty easy. You're easy to find. Yeah. Well, for our listeners who are tuning in, we hope we'll get to meet you at FatCon. Make sure whenever you see our episodes come out, we would love your comments and shares and reviews. Anything else, Murph, that I'm not thinking of?
Email sexy@BigSexyChat.com.
Yeah, and that's how you get our newsletter. And we have about 1,000 subscribers so far in our newsletter, and it's growing every day. So we're excited. Thank
really
you.
Good.
All right, well, y'all have a good evening, and I'll see you later, alligator.
After a while, crocodile.
Tits up, buttercup.
So where can you find your favorite fatties? You can find us at BigSexyChat.com, on all the social medias at BigSexyChat, on Twitter, BigSexyChatPod. And Crystal, how can they reach us?
Oh, Murph, the best way to reach us is by email, which is sexy@BigSexyChat.com. And remember to like, subscribe, and share, please.